And well. Welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm WatchUK99. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch these videos. So this is one of the 3 NHL preview videos that I am doing. I've done one video for the Islanders. I've done one video for the Devils. And this is the video for the New York Rangers. So let's do our season preview, looking back at where the Rangers were in 24-25, what changes they've made, and preview the upcoming season, which the Rangers will start Tuesday night against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Well, from the President's Trophy to pure trash. That's the transition from 2 years ago to last year. It was 3 to 4 months of complete irrelevance is what that season was. Yes, the Rangers finished in the top half in goals scored last season, but that was actually kind of boosted to the fact that they had one of the league's better shooting percentages. They were a team that was just frustrating to watch. It never felt like they were really engaged. They were tuning out their coach. They seemed disconnected. It was just hockey that you didn't want to watch. If you were trying to sell somebody on watching hockey about the last team you would want them to see is the New York Rangers, because they were, I think most people would tell you, the most disappointing NHL team last season. I mean, from the best record in the NHL one year to missing the playoffs the next year. But the Rangers, that offense, it actually generated fewer 5-on-5 scoring chances than they did the previous season. And here was one of the biggest issues, the power play. It plummeted like a bungee jump, went from 3rd in the NHL to 28th last season. And, with all of these videos, I'm breaking down forwards, defensemen. I'll break down the forwards very easily. Artemipanarin, alexislafreniere, Chris Kreider, who is now gone, mikazibanejad, Vincent Trocheck, all regressed. Every single one of them. Now, there were a few bright notes. You look at willcuylle. He scored 20 goals in his second season, and he should now replace Chris Kreider as a full-time top-line forward in 25-26. And they made the mid-season trade for jtmiller, who is now their captain, and he is now here for the full year. But I look at this bottom 6, and I just don't have a lot of confidence. It has changed over drastically. I look at the third line, which, as of right now, looks like it's going to be Juuso Parssinen, Parsnips, Parsley, whatever his name is at center, Connor Sheary, the longtime veteran, and they signed Taylor Radish. So you got Parsnips and Radish is basically what I'm looking at here. I mean, how excited can you get about that? Now, the fourth line has Sam Carrick at center, flanking Adam Edstrom and mattrempe. So you're going to have some size. You're going to have plenty of grit there. But here's the thing. You need to get some scoring somewhere from your bottom 6. And look, new coach Mike Sullivan has been putting mattrempe over in press conferences. He seems to be impressed with how he's developed. That's great. And you know what? mattrempe can eat all the 5-egg omelets that he wants to add some size. Is that going to add scoring touch? I really wonder. So that power play is going to be key because, as I mentioned, it went down from 3rd to 28th. Actually, and I'll give you a specific number. It was at 26.4% converted in 23-24. Last year, it went down to 17.6%. And now they bring back David Quinn to help coach that power play. So hopefully that goes better than when it did when he was head coach here a few years ago. Now let's talk about the defense. I want to spend a few minutes on the defense because to me, the only thing that may have been a bigger issue than the power play was the defense. First of all, the Rangers will be switching this year from man-to-man defense to a zone. And that's going to come under the tutelage of Mike Sullivan, their new head coach. Adam Fox is, in my mind, he is hated by this fan base right now. I think Ranger fans always seem to need to have one whipping boy. And amazingly right now, it's Adam Fox. Now, I'm pretty sure last year he was injured. In the Four Nations tournament, he was useless. I think one of the biggest issues is that Fox really needs that reliable defenseman. And once Ryan Lindgren's injuries really started to catch up with him, I think that is when his play really started to slip. And the Rangers addressed that issue because they signed Vladislav Gavrikov away from the LA Kings to a 7-year, $49 million contract. He is one of the best shutdown defensemen in the NHL at 5-on-5, can help stabilize the penalty kill. After that, who the heck knows what this defense is going to look like? Carson Soucy, who Ranger fans hate even more, and Will Borgen. Well, that's a pretty physical second pair, but if we're being honest, that's more suited to be a third pair on a real good team. Then you have a big mobile player in Euro Vakanainen, or as I like to call him, Vicodin. It's just more fun. So you got Vicodin and Braden Schneider, only 26 and 23 years old, respectively. I'm hoping Schneider gets a lot more playing time. I mean, to me, Braden Schneider is this team's second or third best defenseman, and I really hope he gets the playing time that he deserves. And the fact that Braden Schneider had surgery done on his shoulder, the Schneider shoulder surgery, try saying that 3 times fast. Anyway, that gives me some hope that he is going to play better this year. And I was really hoping that Scott Morrow, who came over from Carolina in the Keandre Miller trade, would find his way into the lineup. He impressed last year in the AHL, 39 points in 53 games. He played every preseason game up until the last one. He is a very, very skilled defenseman at moving the puck, but he has to prove he can play defense right now in the NHL. And right now, the coaching staff isn't seeing it. They chose to send him down to Hartford to help refine that defensive game a little bit more. I'm not too worried about it right now, but next year, starting next year, he'd better have a spot as a top 6 defenseman on this team. And again, Keandre Miller to me was addition by subtraction. Yes, he had size. Yes, he had capability, but too many times he was way too passive. He might be a good fit in Carolina, but you know what? I had no interest in seeing the Rangers offer him a huge contract. Happy to move on from him. So then we go to goaltending. You know, it wasn't the best look last year when Igor Shesterkin posted the worst goals against average and worst save percentage of his career last year. 2.86 goals against, 905 save percentage. But you have to realize what he was facing. No goalie faced or saved more shots in 24-25. The Rangers, again, this comes back to the defense. They allowed the 3rd most high-danger chances in the NHL last year at 5-on-5. Only Sam Montembeault of the Montreal Canadiens had a higher expected goals against mark than Shesty, and he still managed 6 shutouts. He was left out to dry. It was like, just save everything for us because we stink. And if you look at the 53 goalies who played 25 or more games, he still faced 11th in goals saved above expected per 60 minutes. He's still a fantastic goalie. He may be the most athletic puck stopper in all of the NHL. Great reflexes, great competitive desire. And I think with a more stable defense in front of him, it's only going to help that much more. I think Gavrikov is really going to help there. You look at the backup situation, you have Jonathan Quick. He could still be decent, but he's just not good enough to bail out bad defense anymore the way he was during his prime. But the biggest addition the Rangers made was bringing in Mike Sullivan as head coach. 10 years in Pittsburgh, brought home 2 Stanley Cups. But it was time for a change after 10 years. They had not won a playoff series since the 17-18 season, missed the playoffs 3 straight years. But I'm very interested to see if a team with a lot of veterans, a lot of 30-somethings in prominent roles can keep up with a very demanding style of play that Mike Sullivan wants from his team. Now, I say all that about 30-somethings, but at the same time, we have to realize with the Rangers, there is some youth coming up, and a good infusion of youth can really go a long way with this team. So the first rookie that you have to talk about is Noahlaba. He has a very legitimate chance to make the opening night roster. He looks like the prototype of a number 3 center to start his career. 22 years old, 6'3", 214 pounds, plays with grit. He looks like a professional. He looks polished already. He will forecheck. He'll battle in front of the net. He'll give you very solid defense in his own zone. And scoring an OT goal against the Islanders, that didn't exactly hurt his case. Gabe Perreault, he has the upside, but he was sent to Hartford. And in a way, even though I was upset at first, I'm okay with it because if you're going to bring up Gabe Perreault, he really needs to get playing time. You know, this is not a situation where you bring him up and put him on the 4th line just to give him 5 minutes a game. What's the point of that? He'll be back at some point. And then Brett Berard, does he sneak on the roster? And if so, how do the coaches view him? You know, he's undersized, but he's fearless. He's relentless. And last year, the Rangers lacked those kinds of players. It's a roster that over the course of the season, I think is really going to change. It's really going to change. So I look at the Metropolitan Division, and to me, the Rangers should be candidates to bounce back for a wild card spot, maybe even spot number 3 in this Metro Division. Now, this is assuming Alexislafreniere returns to form. This is assuming a bounce back season from Adam Fox, Igor Shesterkin, certainly mikazibanejad, who really seemed to find his game playing right wing next to jtmiller. It's also assuming that some of these young players progress, like willcuylle, Gabe Perreault. It's assuming the defense can show a little bit of gumption, a little bit of fight on the back end and protect the goalie. And again, I think Gavrikov will go a long way to doing that. And you also have to wonder, it is assuming that Mike Sullivan is the right coach for a core that has tuned out numerous coaches over the years. But even then, there are reasons to be optimistic with the Rangers even after this season. They're projected to have $30 million in cap space after this year. And if the Rangers can make the playoffs, hey, that might make them even more attractive to what will be an incredible free agent class. As of right now, Connor McDavid, Jack Eichel, Kyle Connor, etc., etc. If the Rangers have a big season, yes, I know it's about the money. But if you feel like you can win and a younger team like this, a team that doesn't have the highest expectations can overperform a little bit with a new head coach, that might be appealing to free agents. All right, that is my preview for the New York Rangers. Again, check out the Devils video, check out the Islanders video, and of course, join me every Wednesday night, 6 p.m. for the live show. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.